So welcome everyone. Please come to standing and just take a moment to check in with how you are in standing right now. So observe where your head is in relation to your feet. I know your head, we all know if you're standing, your head is above your feet, but is it exactly balanced between your feet, or do you feel you're a little to the right or the left, or are you noticing your head is a little forward or a little backward? Just notice where your head is, what you feel it is right now. And I'm going to ask you a strange question. How old do you feel right now? Don't answer me. We can't hear you anyway, but just notice what you feel. You know, your temporal age, you know, we all know we have a birthday and we're a certain age, but what do you feel? Do you feel your age? Do you feel younger? Do you feel older? It's a subjective question, but I invite you to consider that thought. And it's in honor of the teacher that developed this lesson, because she asks at the end, how old do you feel at the end of the lesson? So I thought it might be nice to ask you that at the beginning. And then notice also, where is your horizon? Just where are you looking when you look ahead of yourself? And then think about looking up. How are you going to look up? You're going to lift your eyes, but how does the rest of you become part of that? So look up and notice, does your back move or is it just your neck? Does the weight shift on your feet? And then how far up do you see easily? And then come back. Check that out a couple of times and just notice, where is your spine moving? How are you accommodating for looking up? And then be curious about looking down, but don't look down yet. Just take a moment to sense, where are your feet? Which foot is turned out more than the other? Which foot carries more of your weight? And then slowly begin to look down toward your feet and notice what you see. Is what you see what you thought you'd see, or is it different in some way? And so you can do the dynamic up and down now to just sense, which direction do you prefer, up or down at the moment? And how dynamic is it? Do you feel a shift in your weight going forward, back, or left or right as you move? And then slowly, oh, actually, I'm going to show you one mat here, which is in the same space that I'm in. And I'm going to invite you to put your roll right in the middle of your mat. It's going to be right in the middle because you're going to put your head at this end and your torso behind it. So Fred is going to go lie on that right now. And he's demonstrating the position of the roll. And you just place it under your neck and then lengthen your legs, and make sure you have enough room to lengthen your legs at that location that you have your roll. So I'll give you all a moment to organize yourself to be in that place. And when you arrive, just hang out there. Just if the roll is pushing your neck forward, then it's a little too big. So you want it to be just so that you just know that it fills the space, but it doesn't push you. That would be ideal. So I'll give you a couple of, a minute or so to get that organized. And if you've already arrived, then just take a moment to check in with your contact with the floor. I'm getting a bunch of messages on my phone. It's probably someone trying to get into the meeting. I'm going to check that while you get organized. And now begin to explore. So some of you have the towel behind your head. It's actually in the space under your neck. If it's big and it's pushing your head forward or your neck forward, it's too big. So I can see for some of you, you need to make it a little smaller. So, okay, I'm going to name some people. So Kathy, yours is too big. You have to roll it down a little bit. And Orly, yours was too big. And Orly, yours is too narrow. You need to make it a little wider. It's got to reach your shoulder blades. Sorry, just helping you with that little bit. We're going to take a moment to just get that sorted first before we continue. Okay, so now please take a moment to gently roll your head a little right and a little left, and just notice how the contact of the towel under your neck already gives you more information than you would just feeling the back of your skull rolling on the floor. Can you feel that? There's information coming from touching the towel that's rolled up under your neck. And now be curious, what's going to happen to that contact when you stand your feet? Don't do it yet. Do you think the towel's going to get closer to your neck or further from your neck? Or is your neck going to go further from the towel or closer to the towel? It's just a question for you to observe in thought and then actually do it and see, is it what you thought would happen? So you bring your legs slowly to stand. And because when your legs are standing, your lower back gets closer to the floor, what did your neck do? Did it get closer to the floor or did it go further from the floor? Well, now we'll explore this many times in today's lesson, but for now, I'm going to invite you to bring your two hands and arms parallel to you, directly forward toward the ceiling in front of you. So there are quite a few people for whom I can't see them. So I'm going to name you. So people on the east side, Midtown, you need to lower your camera. People on the West Coast, you need to lower your camera. People in Brooklyn in art studios need to lower their camera. Okay, now your palms, some of you have very stiff fingers. Let your hands relax. Just let them relax. That's it. And now, as if you are holding the towel that's now beneath your neck, can you take your two arms gently to one side, just as if you are holding that towel, so the arms stay parallel, and then come back. And now take your two arms to the other side. So as you go right and left like this, keep doing it and notice that your shoulder blade on one side leaves the ground and the other side it presses into the ground. Do you feel that? Go slowly, no need to hurry. And now what does your head feel like doing? Some of you are already doing it, but notice that for many of us, when we take our arms to the right, our head wants to turn to the right. Keep it small, don't make it too big. My friend in Brooklyn that's done this a lot, I want you to make it smaller. And you know who I'm talking to. Good, go right and left and let your nose and head follow. Okay, let's do something familiar. Bring your palms together and now do that movement right and left and feel. Feel how your nose can follow your hands. The only difference is you don't have your hands touching in the version we're playing with today. Keep doing it and notice your breathing. I hope you rested. Rest. Are you lost, Anina? Do you have a question? You have to unmute yourself if you have a question.
No, I'm sorry, the screen just disappeared and I thought I had lost the connection.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
No problem. So we've got a small towel today. Do you need a small towel for what we're doing today? A small hand towel. Okay, so now bring your arms back to forward again with your knees bent. And now I'm going to evoke a movement we did a long time ago in these classes, reaching one hand toward the ceiling. So start with your right hand, reach your right hand to the ceiling, allow your head to roll to the left. And now bring it back. And now with your left hand, reach toward the ceiling and allow your head to roll to the right. And in this way, you're rolling right and left, but your arms aren't going together right and left like you were a moment ago. Can you do this movement a little bit? And now feel how this movement goes from your hand down your spine to your pelvis and your legs. Which foot ends up with a little more pressure into the floor? When you reach with your right arm forward, which foot gets stronger in its contact with the floor? When you reach with your left arm, which foot gets stronger in its contact with the floor? Just feel the difference. Both arms are forward. One arm reaches while the other bends a little bit, maybe. Actually, the hand that's not reaching, allow that elbow to bend and bring that hand of the elbow that bends toward your mouth, as if you're going to feed yourself an apple. And switch, switch. That's it. And now the hand that's reaching, turn that palm away from your face. So one palm comes toward your face in the bending hand, and the reaching hand, the palm turns away from your face. Feel how delicious that is in your shoulder blades, how your back moves. And now surrender and take a rest. But we're going to stop a lot. We're going to rest many times, but just to give yourself a sense of this easy rolling action. It's going to be the primary drive of what we're going to do in today's lesson. The action is that you're rolling your chest at the moment, right and left. And notice, did your neck get a little more comfortable? And lengthen your legs if you can, and feel what happens when you lengthen your legs with the contact of the towel behind your neck. Did it get closer? Okay, so Shari, that is not, you need the towel wide. I'm going to show you Fred for a moment. Again, just so you can see. Sorry, Fred. It needs to be the width of your shoulders. Otherwise, it won't work what we're planning. Okay. Okay. I hope that helps. All right. So now, once again, let me remove the spotlight from Fred. Would you please now bring your arms again forward? And we're going to combine the two things you just did. The first thing was taking your two arms right and left. And then the second thing you did was you brought one hand toward your mouth and the other hand you turned it away. So see if you can just add tilting your arms right and left. As you bend one elbow, bring it toward the mouth and the other arm turns away. That's it. Switch, go from one side to the other. Your pelvis right now, your legs are bent and your pelvis is rolling a little bit along with the movement of your pelvis, of your arms, sorry. That's it, Fred. I will demonstrate a little with Fred, since the teacher that developed this course actually demonstrates a lot. So I'm going to, that's why he's here spotlit today. So I'll help him. So this reaches away and that reaches toward. This reaches away and that reaches toward. But you look at the hand that's coming toward you. That's it. And that's it. Feel your shoulder moving, feel your ribs moving. Look at this hand, turn this one away. That's it, keep going. That's it, Fred. Reach across and turn the hand that goes behind you. The hand that's reaching away, that's turning behind you. Okay, Fred's got too much pressure on him. I've got to turn the camera off him. All right, let's have a look at, Yeah, you can keep going, Sherry. Oh, Sherry, actually. I'm gonna spotlight you for a moment. There we go. And that hand now turns toward your mouth. That's it. And the other one, the left hand is turning away from your face. That'll help your shoulder reach further. If you go back to reach and bell back in the fall of, or the spring of last year, that's it. And you don't have to touch your mouth. It's just in that direction. That's it. Elbow opens, elbow reaches. That's it. And now notice your feet. How do your feet contribute to this movement? Do you feel the foot of the arm that reaches gets loaded? Now, if you add just a little, actually, no, let's not add that. Just rest a moment, rest a moment, let that go. Lengthen your legs. And we'll do something in the rest this time to give you a little sense of what we're up to in terms of our trunk and the changes that are potentially happening there. So now, organize your feet. Actually, notice where your feet are resting, which foot is more turned out, the right or the left. Just observe without looking if you can. And now pull both toes so that they're pointing to the ceiling. So you roll your feet so they're parallel a little bit. And now with your feet parallel, rock up and down over your heels. Keep your heels in one spot and oscillate up and down. This is a move we call Jello pudding in Feldenkrais classes, or it's called a heel rock in other modalities, but you're rocking up and down. Keep it gentle, keep it small, and let it go. Just a little bit and let it go. So there'll be times where I'll invite you to do that Jello pudding movement, but you can always add it whenever you want. Whenever you want to take a rest, you can always add that. But maybe do it one more time and just notice, where do you feel the movement is really clear and where does it not sort of connect for you right now? Does your head rock or does it not rock? Do you feel your pelvis rocking? How much is your pelvis rocking when that happens? Yes, Vicky. Did you want to ask something? No? Okay. All right. Very good. Now, bend your knees again, stand your feet, and feel again what happens to the towel at your neck when you stand your feet. And now it's similar to the heel rock, but I invite you to rock your pelvis up and down. Just up, down, and you'll feel the similar motion in your head, but now it's more directed because you're not just using your heels, you're using your whole foot, and your pelvis can rock upward and downward. So we're going to use that strategy as well throughout this lesson. Okay, it's just a north, south, up, down, 12, 6, however you want to think of it. Now, please bring your arms again forward. Actually, no, bring your arms down. Let's just focus on the legs for a moment. I want to clarify something about your legs. So in this part of the lesson, your knees don't go left and right. Your knees simply are rolling your pelvis left and right. So if you press on your right foot without letting your knee go right or left, you lift your right hip and your pelvis rolls to the left. Feel that. And then pause. And now press on your left foot and roll your pelvis to the right and feel how your pelvis rolls to the right while you press on the left side, lifting the left side of the pelvis a little. So now rock right and left. This is not 6 to 12. Now we're going left, right with the pelvis, but your knees are not going left, right. Just your pelvis is going left, right. That's it. And now which foot could you disconnect when you've gone to the side? Which one's easy to disconnect? That's it. The side that you go to is the foot that's easier to disconnect from the ground because you've got the groundedness of your pelvis to help you. Does that make sense? Feel that inside yourself. It's just left, right. And if you press on your right foot, your left hip gets grounded so you can lift your left foot. If you press on your left foot, your right hip gets grounded and you can lift your right foot. Do that generously for yourself. Your knees simply go forward. They're marching in a way. It's like you're marching. But your knees go forward, not to the side, if possible, at this point. All right, lengthen your legs, take another rest. Notice your contact with the floor, notice your neck supported by the rolled towel. And now we're going to put those movements together. And I'll tell you that it's easier in some ways not to worry about the detail that I'm describing. You just do a combined movement, a movement of the arms and a movement of your legs. So please slowly bend your knees, stand your feet, and then also bring your two arms forward. Now your arms can go right and left, but your feet march directly forward. So now try pressing on your right foot, roll to the left with your pelvis a little bit. You can lift your left foot, but now with your arms, which arm are you going to reach with and which arm's going to come toward you? See if you can work a pattern out that makes sense to you. That's it. And then come back and switch to the other side. You'll soon discover that the side you roll to is easier to bring that hand toward your face and the other arm to reach away, just as your pelvis reaches away. That's it. And you don't have to lift your foot high. You're lifting your foot just a little bit. And now each time your foot comes back to the ground, some of you are already doing it, bring that foot just an inch closer to you or half an inch. And you'll feel that you start to climb your shoulders onto the roller, onto the towel. And I want you to go slowly climbing your, oh yeah. So Marsha, you have to 90 degrees from where you are. 90 degrees. You're going to start climbing and you're going to end up with your shoulders on the towel. Stop when your shoulders are on the towel. Just when you get to that place, lower your arms, keep your legs up, but lower your arms. And now feel the disturbance. Now, for some people, you'll want to put something under your head right away, but don't. Just hang out with this and sense. Rest your arms. Some of you are still working. Bring your arms down and stay there with your shoulders on. Your shoulders are on the towel, but you're not going further than that. Stop there. So rest there. And now, with your shoulders on the towel, lengthen your legs. Organize your feet to be parallel and begin to heel rock gently. And feel the towel is around the base of your neck, the top of your chest. That's what we call C7. So you want to stop in that place and rock up and down and feel how the towel becomes, it's like a focal point in your rocking. Can you rock a little quickly now? Up, down, blop, blop, blop. That's it. Excellent. And does your head rock up and down or does it rock a little diagonally? Just notice what you're doing. And then pause. Just breathe. Feel the towel supporting. Well, I hate to say it, but this is the place of the dowager's hump. So this is where you want to not push and punish, but rather caress and gently support that tissue. You can reach up with your hands and adjust the towel to be just perfect for you. We're going to move anyway from this point, but just feel the support of that place. Feel the opening of your throat. Feel what happens to the top of your ribs at the front and the back. And now slowly bend your knees and stand your feet. And very gently, rock your pelvis up and down, gently. And you'll feel that that little bump of the towel has you move in a different way over that region. And your chin is going to move away from your chest and come back. And you decide the pace. You can lightly oscillate over that point. Very nice. And now, please slowly again bring your arms forward and gently, quietly, easily begin to go a little further, but not far. You want to get to that place where you're still on your shoulder blades, but toward the bottom of the shoulder blades, or anywhere that you feel, oh, this is such a generative place. I just want to hang out feeling the support of this point. Go of maybe, I don't know, however many steps it takes you, but don't go off your shoulders just yet. So stay on your shoulders, lower your arms. Now you'll really feel like you want to put something under your head, but don't. Just lengthen your arms, lengthen your legs. Feel the rolled towel is now in a place that is so difficult for many of us to change. That place between our shoulder blades. And when your legs are long, you can decide when to begin to oscillate. But the way you climb up, some of you are still struggling to climb over the towel. It's that your foot comes one tiny distance closer to you with each time you bring the foot back to the floor. That will help you climb over the towel. And now my friend on the Upper West Side has a brilliant idea, which I did too, and I invite you all to do that. Can you give yourself a hug? Cross your arms over your chest like we did in the classes not that long ago, and you can rock yourself a little bit right and left. If it's too difficult doing this with your legs down, you can, of course, bring your legs up and stand them. If you want a little more generous rolling, or it doesn't matter how big it is. It can be quite a small roll, and you'll still get a lot of benefit. And then you can cross your arms the other way and then rock your pelvis up down kind of quickly. And see now, without rolling right left, there's a little bit more pressure when your arms are crossed over your chest. So you do that as you wish. And now take another rest and just feel the support of the towel there and feel the opening of your chest. Feel the air coming into your lungs on the right and the left. Your back is being given a lot of information. Check your jaw, check your neck. Notice if you could let go, you could let your mouth be a little open. You could let your tongue rest on the floor of your mouth. And now we're going to continue climbing over the towel to get to the lower part of the ribs. Or if you feel inclined that a spot before you get to the lower ribs is interesting for you, you can certainly stop there. But bring your arms forward. One arm, the arm that reaches turns away from your face. The arm that bends comes toward your face. And in this way, you'll feel which foot leaves the ground on the side you roll to, and you bring that foot down just a half an inch closer to you. That's going to give you the generation of force to go up over the towel. And you find a closer place that you feel you want to hang out in next. Of course, your neck is now going to be longer, and you're going to feel a new spot to rest on. So you get to that place. It's now, hopefully the towel is below the level of your shoulders. If it's not quite there, you can go further, but you go where you can. And then you have the two choices: parallel legs with your legs long and oscillating up, down, or with your feet standing, you can rock your pelvis 6 to 12. And if you want to do a hug and a roll, you can do that too. I'm just going to help someone climb a little further over the towel. You're not over the towel, so just that's it. No. As you step, reach with one arm. Which side are you stepping to? This side. That's it. Bring this foot closer to you. Now go to the other side. Bring that foot closer to you. One side. One side. Bring this foot closer to you. This side, bring this foot closer to you. That's going to roll you. If you roll your arms and you let go of any stiffness, keep going. Roll, roll, roll. Stop. Okay. Lengthen your arms, lengthen your legs. Okay. I don't know. We could take a vote at the end of which is the favorite spot, but this is one of my favorites. But notice how you feel the floating ribs, the bottom of your rib basket. They're very mobile, those ribs. You know, you can find a different spot. You can go just 2 vertebrae up. You can begin to explore. I'm going to invite you to keep going. because as you now reach the area of your lower back, you're going to feel a whole different relationship of the towel to your back. It's a bit more like it was when it was under your neck. The variations when you find the place you want to hang out in are crossed arms, giving yourself a hug. Feet, that would be feet standing or feet long. It's up to you. When your feet are standing, you go up, down, 6, 12, north, south, up, down, however you want to think of it. Or if you've got your arms crossed, you remember to switch them too, because that will also make a difference. And if you're going to do left, right with the hug, then play with whether you take your eyes and head with the elbows or whether you take your eyes and head against the elbows. So you just do what feels easy and comfortable and creative for you. And some of you have already got the towel in right almost to your pelvis. So if you get to that place, I invite you to stop, because we've got a little variation to do. I'm going to wait till everyone gets to that place, and then I'll invite you to do something different. So when you're ready, continue climbing slowly up over your towel. I'm going to help you. So look to the right, look to the left, look to the right, look to the right, look to the left. You're always looking to. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, it's at the top of your pelvis now. You can stop there. Okay, when you have arrived with the towel at the top of your pelvis, just the, you know, you could reach down with your hands and feel where's the top of your pelvis, and just the towel is now at that level. This is anatomically, it's L4 of your spine, which is your lower back, the second last vertebra of your spine. Just hang out at that point. It's a very different feeling here. You're going to feel probably like your pelvis is being pushed a little downward. It's being, actually, if you lengthen your legs, it'll feel like it's assisting you to lengthen your legs. Just notice that feeling. Notice if it is uncomfortable to you. If it's uncomfortable, it's fine. You can move the towel. But see if you can begin to rock your heels up, down. Let your feet be a little apart, not too close together. And sense the rocking wave. Don't work too hard at it. Make it lighter. Make it light and fluffy. It's a weird way to describe it, but just light, billowy, up, down, boom, 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 boom. Little vibratory. It's more oscillatory, vibratory than stretch. Don't think about stretching at all, actually. And now bend your knees and stand your feet. And now interlace your fingers, put them behind your head. And extremely gently bring your elbows together and lift your head a little bit, and feel when you get that pressure down all the way to the towel, then keep your head at that point and then lift your pelvis to lower your head. Lift your pelvis to push your head back, and then lift your head to push your pelvis back to the towel. Rock up and down a little bit like that, feeling the segments of your spine articulating. Excellent. And now pause, bring your head down, let it rest. You can keep your hands there if you want, but now try to, and again, I say try, but it may happen or may not happen, but see if you can let your pelvis actually rock so that it goes toward the sits bones. Can you rock your pelvis? Can you lift your lower back almost like you want to take it away from the towel? Don't lift your head. Don't lift your head. That won't help. Your head's actually going to press backward if you lift your lower back. That's it. Okay. Now, bring your arms forward again to parallel. Remember, your feet are going to walk one foot to the other, and you're going to climb so that the towel or the bump, the rolled up, whatever it is you've got there, is going to be right across the middle of your pelvis. See if you can rock up. You're reaching one hand to the other. Keep rocking gently. See if you can climb to the place where your pelvis is now balanced left to right. It's balanced across the roller. And so you're in a place now where you very easily rock up and your lower back will come close to the floor. And if you rock down over the roller, your lower back's going to arch a lot. Can you just do that movement first? So let your arms come down, and rock 6 to 12, not left and right, 6 to 12. Go slow, slow it down, It's not exercise. Pay attention to your whole spine. When do you get the pull and when do you get the push? And do you feel it all the way up to your head? You've got to find just the right spot. Some of you I know have some discomfort in your sacroiliac joints or your sacrum. So you might have to negotiate to find the right spot. You can lift your pelvis and use your hands to adjust. Use your hands to adjust where the towel is so you're in a place that's comfortable. When you've gone north, south, or up, down, then I invite you to lengthen your legs. And now your pelvis will probably rock down, but maybe not. Maybe you can contract your abdomen. This would be the ultimate Pilates move. Pull in your abdomen and you'll bring your lower back toward the floor. And now breathe fully into your abdomen and arch your back and see if you can get your sits bones closer to the floor. Now that's where we're going next. We're going to climb further up the roller to get to our coccyx and maybe even the level of the sits bones. So again, bend your knees, stand your feet, and bring your arms forward. Remember, your arms can go right and left, but your feet stay marching with your knees forward. So try that. See if you can climb a little further up over the roller. Each time you bring your foot back to the floor, you actually bring it a little closer to you. That will push you so that the roller goes a little bit further down toward the bottom of your pelvis. And when you get to that place, again, pause and feel the pushing of the towel into the very bottom of your pelvis, where your coccyx is, maybe at the level of your sits bones. So my friend on the east side, it's going to be further south than that, further below you. If you can get it further below you, that's it. And now, again, lengthen your legs and see the opening of your hip joints. Feel how your hips are extended. They're kind of pushed a little bit. And you can rock a little up and down, but feel that opening at the front of yourself, across left and right of the pelvis and up and down. And then please, whenever you're ready, begin to go a little bit further so that it ends up being below your pelvis. And that will be the last place we go to at this moment. So you walk up a little more, reaching your arms right and left. Okay, the arm to the side you're going to bends towards you. The arm that's driving the movement is lengthening. It's the one that the shoulder's lifting and the foot's pressing. The foot presses on the side of the arm that reaches, and your arm reaches away from your face. Other way, some of you with the reach. And when you're clear of the roll from your pelvis, then lengthen your legs. And now the towel is actually right at the top of your hamstrings, right at your sits bones. And yet another place that's interesting to feel contact. You don't usually feel contact at that point, but sense the contact of that point or that area on the right sits bone compared to the left. And notice your breath, notice your head position. Can you roll your head here and sense if your head is moving more smoothly right and left? Sense how the turning of your head affects your shoulder blades. Are you more aware of your spine right now? Or is the turning so clearly in your neck that you don't feel your spine? And now please take a moment to consider you climbed gently up over that roller. What we're going to do now is reverse the direction. Instead of going upward, you're now going to begin to come down over the towel. And I'll tell you, this is for each person. We each have our personal abilities and disabilities. So I'm going to invite you to explore, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint where in the going up over the towel, we kept the knees pointing forward and the arms went right and left. Now to go down the other direction, we're going to allow the knees to go right and left, and we're going to keep the arms moving directly forward. So it's a different strategy. The arms are going to move directly forward. One comes towards your mouth, one goes away, but your knees can now rock right and left. And to start with, let's just establish the pattern. Let's not worry about moving down just yet. So please just bend your knees, stand your feet. Many of you are exploring already, which is great. But let me guide you. If you want to be guided, follow me now. Bring your two palms or your two hands forward. Two arms are gently forward. Okay, so just leave your arms where they are for the time being, but now tilt your legs to the left. And now with your legs to the left, you're going to pick up your your left foot, because your legs went to the left. But instead of bringing it closer to you, you actually want to take it an inch further away from you and put it down there. And now roll your pelvis to the right. Pick up your right foot and reach it down an inch and put it down there and roll now to the left. And that's the way you're going to start coming back down. Now, what you do with your arms is you keep them forward. One comes towards your mouth, one reaches to the ceiling. That's it. You got it. And you walk your way like this until the roll is again right across left to right at the level of your hip joints. See if you can get to that. Not the coccyx now. We're going to the level of the hip joints, and then you lower your arms. And again, and I'll now invite you to hear the language that one of my colleagues who I used to teach this with, she used to say, it's like rub-a-dub-dub. Not the three men in the tub, but rub-a-dub-dub. You're doing a little rub over the roll, actually. Up, down, left, right, whatever you want to do with your arms, just to start going, oh, this is what it's like to feel my pelvis very free, very mobile. And then again, bring your arms and your legs back up. And now you go to the next station, which is, let's say, the very top of the pelvis. That's actually the level of your last lumbar vertebra. So just get to that place where you haven't cleared the pelvis, but you're near the rim of the pelvis. There's actually a lovely little ledge if you find it. And then hang out at that point. It's not cheating if you want to just stop, lift your pelvis and adjust the towel. You can do that too. As a first approximation of doing this, that's very allowed. And now, when you're there, what are you going to do? You want to rock your pelvis up and down. You want to make a circle. You want to lengthen your legs and rock Jello pudding style. I actually started playing with doing a whole circle at this level, because you can rock down. You can kind of rock to the right. You can rock to the left. It's interesting how this little perturbation to flat ground can make quite the difference to the ability to move the biggest, heaviest part of yourself, which is your pelvis. And now, please, again, bend your knees, stand your feet, and continue the journey until now you find a place somewhere in your lower back that's particularly juicy for you. If you need help with the rolling, yes, your arms stay kind of vertical now while your legs flip off to the side. And the hand that reaches to the ceiling turns away from your face. The hand that comes to the other way, Sherry, and the other way, that's it. It turns away from your face. It'll help you lengthen your shoulder blade more and your clavicle when you do it that way, until you climb yourself down to the next place that's of interest to you. I don't want to determine that now. I'm going to let you each find, where do you want that towel to wake up a couple of vertebrae or a couple of places in your spine that you feel, oh, that's interesting. Let me feel that place. And then when you find that place of interest, you can be methodical, you can be creative. Methodically, you would just keep it rocking up, down, and then you could do left, right. But with left, right in your lumbar spine, it's not going to be a lot of variation because it's only about 6 degrees right and left that your lumbar spine can actually turn. But when we get into the bottom part of your ribs, then you'll feel more opportunity to use the rocking. So when you're ready, again, return to your legs standing. Your knees go right and left. If your knees go to the left, it's the left foot that comes off the ground and reaches down a little bit and comes down 1 inch further south. And then when your legs go to the right, you pick up your right foot, you move that down just an inch. And if you're patient, you'll discover that you're rolling and reaching downward. And keep going until you get to the place of your floating ribs. Where are the floating ribs? Some people are already at their shoulders. I invite my friend in Brooklyn to slow down. Slow down. It's a different teacher. I know you probably did this just last week with the other teacher, but I'm going slower. I want you to be more creative. All right. Rest, oscillate, play. What would happen if you roll your head at this place? Will you feel your towel? When you roll your head, when your legs are long, when you pause, when you turn your head right and left and the towel is below the level of your shoulders, do you feel that that turning of your head reaches all the way down to your towel? So whether you notice it in usual class or regular class without using a towel like this, it's interesting to feel the towel there giving you information. Our brain loves novelty. This towel is like a little novel toy. It's a new possibility for you to feel yourself. And now when you're ready, you can play with the different variations. So now you're in your thoracic spine. I invite you to bend your knees, stand your feet, and try this. Create a pelvic circle with your pelvis and feel what happens to the point where the towel is. If you go around in a circle in the contact points of your pelvis, what happens to the area behind the towel? Isn't there a circle happening there too? And now cross your arms over your chest. And now make a little circle with your elbows over your chest. Don't worry about your pelvis now, just circle your chest and feel how that movement of your chest meets the towel. There's no right or wrong way, just do it gently. Keep yourself soft. And then bring your arms forward and continue your journey down over the towel. So you tilt your legs, you reach with your arms, you keep it small, don't make it too big, and you'll find if you keep climbing 1 foot down, the foot that comes off the floor, if you bring it down 1 inch further south, further down, you will climb down. You just have to be patient. It happens. It's almost like this is hard work. You will feel your hamstrings pulling you down a little bit. But get to that place where you're on your shoulders now, somewhere, any part of your shoulders. If you don't have it on your shoulders, you can cheat, climb down, go down your mat, get that towel to your shoulders. I'm going to invite many of you who aren't quite there yet to find a way to bring the towel to the bottom of your shoulders, middle of your shoulders, anywhere you can find, and then rest there and find out, just surrender to it. You know, in a way, it's like your back has to shape itself to this obstacle that you've placed there. It's not a big obstacle, but it's big news to your back because we never rest our weight on such a thing and in such a place. Now roll your head at this level and see, do you feel the rolling of your head, the turning of your head at this point on your back where the towel is? Are you more likely to want to look down or look up with the towel at that place? And now bend your knees and stand your feet. And only, I swear to you, there's nothing to be gained by hurting yourself. only if it feels comfortable, see if you could lift your pelvis a little bit slowly to feel that point of the towel get even more pressure. Gently, gently, gently. And then bring it down again. And feel as you come down, you almost reach your pelvis away from the towel so you can lengthen your back. That's it. And then when you're ready, let's continue. Can you keep going in the direction of the towel coming to that place at the base of your neck and the top of your chest? You know where I mean. It's just the skimming the top of your shoulder blades almost. It's exquisite to feel support in that place. Just get to the place that feels juicy to you, feels, yep, that's where I want it. And then just hang out there, rest a moment before you decide what intervention you want to play with. You could play with just rocking your heels. That would be a very simple vibratory intervention. I mean, intervention. That's not the right word. Just a variation on where the towel is. If you shift your weight by rocking over your heels, you will adjust it's like you're shifting the sand to make room so that as if your body were full of sand, was able to accommodate for that bump that you feel at that level. And yes, you can roll your chest right and left. You could make a circle with your pelvis. You could look down, look up. There are so many things you can do at this level. And now continue till you get the towel to come all the way to fill the gap in your neck. And for sure, the towel got flattened by our process. So you can, when you get it to be at your neck, you can sort of put your hands there and fluff it up a little if you want. And then you lengthen your legs and rest. And just feel the support of the towel supporting your neck. Feel the rest of you almost like from the towel downward. Sense if there is an ease to your breath right now. Sense if your back has made a totally different interaction with the ground. What's happened to the spinal curves? Is your spine in some way clearer? In a way, it's like a Feldenkrais teacher came and put their fingers on every vertebra of your spine and allowed you to move around that place. You can feel that you kind of, if you've had the pleasure of a Feldenkrais functional integration session where the teacher puts their hands on you and helps you become freer, it's a little like you got yourself a little bit of a hands-on lesson here. Rock up and down and feel how more complete every part of your spine is in that journey. Just do a little, don't do a lot now. Just keep it quiet, but feel how much you feel yourself. And be curious about what you'll feel when you come to stand. If this is the first time you're doing this process, it might be a whole new level of seeing. So when you're ready, you bend your knees, stand your feet. I am going to just say the whole thing, so don't rush though. Take your time because it's not important to follow me now. You're going to take your time to come to stand. When you stand, you want to take your time to just feel yourself in standing. If you want to walk, you walk. And then you play the little game of looking up and down. So do that first, and then I'll give you the next instruction. So take your time. Take all the time you need to go from lying all the way up to standing. And good. Now walk around. Oh, I'm in double view here. I didn't realize I was going to be in the shot. Okay. you can see my setup. Okay, walk around and notice how is your walk? What's happened to your arms? Where is your head in terms of the horizon? And how is looking up and down? And then the originator of this lesson had in the original version of this lesson, and how old do you feel now? You remember me asking you that at the beginning? What's your sense of your own age? Forget about what you know, but just feel yourself. How different do you feel? Okay, with that, I invite you to have a pleasant evening. If you want to ask some questions, I'll stay and chat with you. And thank you for your time. We'll go no props next week. It'll be back to normal. And I should also say that, well, I'll tell you this when we chat. So thank you. See you next time if you're going now.